Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, man. And in this video, I want to talk about Giant Man Part 2. Uh, and is it funding a good thing or a bad thing? Look, I've seen a lot of people out there talking about how it funding is a bad thing. Okay, and I want to say this about that. I think I think Hasbro pulled a very dirty, underhanded tactic when they promised that Wasp would be, in a future wave, and that was kind of how it got funded. I'm not going to go into the conspiracy theory of, Haslab or Hasbro hiding backers and all that other stuff. We've seen something similar before with Unicron, with Haslab Unicron. Whenever when it wasn't going to fund, and then they extended it, and then it wasn't going to fund again, and then all of a sudden, it went from like needing 3,000 backers to having well over like 12,000 backers or something like that, and it funded successfully, all the tiers unlocked, yada yada yada. So I'm not gonna get in that, but But I do think it's really underhanded that in order for this to get funded, Hasbro needed to promise a figure to come out, next year or whatever to go with your Giant Man instead of putting it into as a bundle. Why? Look, here's the thing. Why that's bad is because you're not guaranteed the Wasp. You're not. At any point in time, they could cancel that figure, and you're essentially left with the Giant Man and no Wasp, like how everybody wanted. Like everybody wanted that retro Wasp, that classic Wasp. Everybody wanted that, and that was the selling point. And that's what Hasbro said. Hey man, we got this Wasp coming out next year, this retro Wasp, and it's so far. And here's the thing: it's so far in production that the prototype that we see is pretty much the figure that is right before production, right? Like it's the final test shot type of thing that we see in those photos. It's a photo that's taken early on with a gray scale prototype Giant Man, right? So I think it's really underhanded because, like I said, they promised you that figure, but that figure isn't a guarantee, okay? Now, if it was bundled in with Giant Man, then that figure would be guaranteed, okay? I think that what worries me is that, like I said, it got backed based on a promise made from a company that sends armed goons to people's front door over Magic the Gathering cards, But the price thing is what I've seen too is in this is that a lot of people are talking about how this now gives Hasbro the power to charge whatever, and consumers have to take it and deal with it and blah 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 blah. Look, if Hasbro's been doing that, I don't know what to call them. I call them like secret hide in plain sight price hikes. Okay, and if you want a major example of it, when the Marvel Legends came out, they did the X-Men, the Fox X-Men wave, and those were $24.99 a piece, right? And then they had a Storm 2-pack. I forgot, it was a black suit Storm, it was a retro Storm, and she came. I forgot who she came with, but it was a 2-pack, and that at retail I believe was like $55, right? So it was like almost $27, $28 a figure in that box set. And it didn't come with anything extra. It didn't come with any kind of, it came with extra hands for Storm. But when I say extra, it didn't come with anything more so than what you would get with a $20 Marvel Legend, because at that time they were $20, right? Hasbro's been doing this like hide in plain sight type of thing for years now. And I think with Giant Man, they just overplayed their hand, and people are seeing it for what it is now. And that's where a lot of this is coming from. But at the end of the day, Hasbro's been doing this for a long time. So the people that are worried about this ushering in, like the Giant Man $200 price tag and all that stuff, this ushering in like a new Hasbro norm or whatever, the norm has already been there, right? It's just, it's Giant Man made it more public, made it more in your face. Now, the other thing I didn't touch on in my first Giant Man video is that this could have been sold at retail. I want to make this abundantly clear. This could have been sold at retail, and I want to express why I didn't, because I don't think I did it very well in the last video. So I'm going to express why I didn't like the $200 price tag on this. Is because we see Transformer Titan class figures now at $200, and those Titan class figures transform. They have anywhere between 2 and 3 modes each, whether it's, robot, jet, base, and then something else, or just, robot and jet or something like that. But they also come with minion figures. I call them minion figures. So, Trypticon came with full tilt, like a car that plugged onto his chest. Most recently, the Arc came with Teletran 1, okay? If you guys don't know Transformers, Teletran 1 is the computer that sits inside the Arc. The Arc is the Autobots' spaceship. That figure was $200. And like I said, it's fully transformable. It's, just as tall as this Giant Man, and it comes with a figure. Giant Man was pretty much the Spider-Man buck, the new Spider-Man buck, with, with a mask and stuff like that. So basically all they did was enlarge the CAD file, right? And then add some leather straps on the chest and stuff to make it look like Giant Man. That's why I don't think it's worth $200, because it didn't come with anything. And Hasbro doing what they do with their Titan class Transformers at $200. This Giant Man at $200 could have been at retail, because we've seen Hasbro's $200 Titan class figures at $200 at retail. And when I say retail, I'm not talking Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not talking Hasbro Pulse exclusive, anything like that. I'm talking Target. I'm talking Walmart. I'm talking Ross. I'm talking all of that stuff. We have seen them, their Transformers Titan class figures at these, retail places, okay? For $200. That's why I don't think the Giant Man was worth the $200. That's why I was saying in my first video I could see him at maybe, $175, something like that. $200 with the minion figure, with a wasp figure at $200. Now I will say this does give Hasbro reason to to price increase their bigger figures, right? We could start seeing Titan class Transformers because of this Giant Man at $225, because those minion figures are deluxe class figures, so they could start coming in at $225. Hasbro could say, well, people bought the Wasp for $24.99. I don't know why it's hard for me to say her name. But they bought her at $24.99. They bought Giant Man at $200, so that's $225. But if Hasbro plans on doing that, they were going to do that anyway. Okay, the price hikes and everything have been happening over the course of the last 3 years for a lot of BS reasons that they give out. Okay, they've given out, Russia was one, oil was another, COVID was another, and when companies were starting to lower their prices, when things started getting back to normal after the pandemic, Hasbro hasn't, right? So though they were just excuses to raise their prices. That's all it was, and that's all it will ever be, is just a reason for them to raise prices. So I will end with this. Be prepared to see another price hike. Giant Man was the probably, it's not the last time we're going to see something like this, is what I'm saying. But it's the most recent example of Hasbro trying to sneak in a price hike to see what fans and consumers will pay for, and how much they're willing to pay for their products. Yeah, that's it for this video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep the conversation, going in the description down below. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Take care of yourself, man. Take care of each other. And guys, don't forget, if you guys need any kind of help, need somebody to talk to, the phone number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is down in the description below. If you need it, use it. If you know somebody who needs it, send it to them. If you think you know somebody who might need it, send it to them anyway. All right? But yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. I will see you guys on Wednesday, whenever I go live, when we talk about toy news and all that awesome, good, crazy stuff. Yeah, I'll say it again, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And as always, baby, cut it out. Later.